Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have Greg Kidd on the SEC. And we know Greg Kidd worked for Booz Allen, the same as Snowden, the subcontractor for the NSA. Now, we know the SEC is kicking this regulation can down the road because they want to continue the casino until they flip the switch for the fourth industrial revolution. Even though ISO takes effect later this year, it's going to take about 3 years for it to be implemented. By 2025, the robots, algorithms, and drones would have taken over the economy, and the sheet will be inside the metaverse. And guys, we have Brad Garlinghouse speaking of crypto at Davos. And we know why crypto is a hot topic, because we're going to the digital economy. Remember, crypto means hidden message, hidden meaning. These cryptos are not for you. These cryptos are for the machine. And he talks about NFTs and carbon credits. And I told you how big carbon credits are going to be. You're talking about $1 trillion business, but it's an evil plan. If you have my book, you understand. Do not fall for the devil's tricks. We are headed into a bear market by the time we come out. 99% of these cryptos are going to be gone. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
It's unlikely that it's going to come. Gary Gensler over at the SEC, he's like, he doesn't care what the Chinese or the Russians or the Europeans think about what's a security or not. He's made it very clear. If it's a security, we'll regulate it, which is the same philosophy as Tony Soprano. If you're on my turf, you're going to be paying me. Yeah. And, well, what's the extent of your turf? Whatever I say it is. that's just the way it works. And again, I'm not anti those organizations, but from a governance point of view, that's where you end up and get to. So, the fun thing right now, the tumult in Web 3.0 and DeFi is it's a free-for-all. And what we just know is UST melted down last week. Like I'm looking to figure out how to short USDT, right? Because I'm not sure they're good for it, right? And I'd sure like to borrow at $1, sell it, and buy it back at 50 cents. Sounds like a good trade to me. So that kind of centralization doesn't work either. So, it's early innings on DeFi and Web 3.0, and I can't find those episodes that explain to me how credits work for Romulans and Clans. Everybody's buying those dilithium. So somebody figured this out, but Gene Roddenberry kicked off before he gave us this episodes that explained how Star Trek works. That's up to us to figure out, and that's where we're putting our bets financially. And so that's the interesting thing. So we're I'm listening to what my 15-year-old daughter tells me. She's got more sense than any probably of us because she's in it to win it. And she's doing it, and we heard a little bit about that, and so.
I remember I was just arriving, and my time zones were all messed up, and somebody said to me, they were asserting that crypto still is a bad word at Davos, and I think we've come a long way, as evidenced by the fact that, just the things like Filecoin Foundation, just the presence of crypto here in Davos is dramatically different. On stage now, we have the FTX president, the number of speakers here from crypto, I think, as leaders across the world learn how these technologies can actually benefit their constituents, benefit their economies, they're going to use them because there are real benefits. And so I think we're seeing that happen every day. And, 2 years from now, I think it'll be even more positive.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Critical. NFTs, I think back in December I was interviewed, and I said that they were underhyped, despite the fact that there's obviously a lot of hype in certain parts of the NFT market. I think the tokenization of various assets is underhyped. And so one of the examples I talked about on stage with the CNBC team was this idea around carbon credits. And so the carbon credit marketplaces have been challenged because of, frankly, fraudulent carbon credits and people trading what actually aren't carbon credit offsets. And the ability to have the traceability, the ability to have an open, visible to anyone trading is, I think, very important. Can really, I think, revolutionize how carbon credit marketplaces and the efficacy of carbon credit marketplaces. Ripple just announced last week our commitment to invest $100 million in that segment, and a few other announcements coming in that regard. But we're excited to use the XRP ledger for that purpose because of its scalability and low cost. is really the real use case of cross-border payments, and that there's a lot of friction and cost associated with moving money across borders, and it's usually quite slow, quite expensive, and frankly very error-prone. Yeah. So we use XRP for that purpose, and it has driven billions and billions of dollars of transactions through XRP, using that as a very efficient, low-cost bridge. But I do think, I don't think we're living in a single-chain world. I've spoken critically about kind of tribalism in crypto, and I think it's a multi-chain world. There are going to be a lot of different utility use cases. Ripple just focused primarily on that. Obviously, this new initiative we've announced around the carbon credit marketplace. But I think there's going to be a myriad of different chains focused on different use cases. Ripple's going to continue to focus on enterprise use cases, but there's a lot of consumer use cases I think are interesting. Certainly Filecoin is one that has been around for a while, and I don't know what kind of traction they've had, but I think a compelling use case.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.